up by the banner.
Oh, I love it. I'm glad I can see it. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back. If you just saw our last video, I am here with our CEO and co-founder, Dr. Sophia Yen. She has her uterus necklace on. I love it. She has the Pandia Health sign in the background. All good things. So today, if you can tell by the title, we're talking about Vienva, which is a type of birth control. If you haven't heard of it, as I hadn't, no worries, because we're going to go over all of the details today. As usual, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you just want to say hi, feel free to leave a comment down below and we'll give you a shout out. All right, so let's just get right into it. Let's go with the basics. What kind of birth control is Vienva?
So Vienva is a normal oral contraceptive pill, combined oral contraceptive pill. And what that means is it has both estrogen and progesterone, because most birth control pills have both hormones because it works better with two than with one. And so that is the first part. The second part is it has the progesterone, levonorgestrel. And so I want people to know that there are 8 different progesterones and they have different side effects and different benefits and stuff like that. In general, they're all good for acne. They're all going to work for birth control. And the question is, do they have more man side effects? Do they have more breakthrough bleeding if you're trying to skip your periods? And so the progesterone that's in Vienva is levonorgestrel. And levonorgestrel is one of the older progesterones. And so the good thing is it lasts a long time. So if you're not so good at taking it at the same time per day, it does cover you. The bad thing is it's one of the old progesterones. And so it has sometimes more manly side effects, as I call them. So you get zits, you get hunger, you get hairiness, and you may mess up your cholesterol. So you may have more of the bad cholesterol and less of the good cholesterol. So those are potential side effects, but each person is different. And if you're on it and you're doing fine, then that's great. But if you notice that you're having acne or more munchies, or you check your cholesterol and it used to be good and now it's whack, one, it could be COVID-19 giving you 19 extra pounds, but the other, it could be that you went on Vienva, which has levonorgestrel, which has more kind of manly side effects. And then lastly, the difference between Vienva and another medication is it's one of the ones that have 20 micrograms of estrogen. And in general at Pandia Health, because we are the only doctor-headed birth control company and the only academic doctor, I am a clinical associate professor at Stanford, and I teach other doctors how to prescribe birth control. And I'm very obsessed with science and numbers. It has 20 micrograms of estrogen, and they've shown in research that if you're under the age of 30, it would be better to be on a 30 microgram birth control pill rather than a 20 microgram birth control pill, because a 20 microgram pill is not good enough to achieve normal bone density. Once you come off it, you can go back to normal, but while you're on it and the long-term risk, we don't know. So if it were me or my patient, my friend, I would recommend a 30 microgram estrogen pill if you can tolerate it. And it's pretty standard until you're 30. Once you're 30, all bets are off. You can do whatever the heck you want. But under 30, I would not recommend anything with less than 30 micrograms. And then lastly, I think it's a question coming up, is Vienva a generic, right? And yes, it absolutely is a generic. We have so many patients like, I only want brand and I want Vienva. And I was like, you just contradicted yourself, because Vienva is a generic. The brand of its category is Aless. And I don't even know if Aless is on the market anymore. And I just wanted to read all the other generics so people know that are equivalent to Vienva. So there's Aless, there's Abra, there's Avian, there's Delilah, there's Lacina, there's Levlite, there's Lutera, Orsithio, Seronix. All of those are all the same. They have the same exact active ingredients, the same exact milligrams or micrograms of the estrogen progesterone component. The only difference is the color of the pills. Some of them might be light blue, some of them might be yellow, some of them might be green, because they want to be different and they want to make you think that they are a brand. And they are a brand, but they are a generic brand versus a name brand.
Cool. All right. Good to know. I know I'm learning so much about different types of birth control. It's funny. I feel like when women, at least in my experience, when women are prescribed birth control, they don't do a lot of research on it. And again, that could just be me, but this is all really good information because yeah, I want to have good bone density and things like that. So yeah, that's awesome. And again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to keep asking. Like, no question is a bad question. These are all important things to go over. So the next question, also a very important one, will you get your period with Vienva, or is it a type of birth control that you can skip your period with?
So you will get your period with Vienva because it comes in 4 weeks, 3 weeks, all the same pill, all the same dose, all the same strength. And then the last week is placebo or sugar pill or what I call bleeding week. And this week is totally optional. You can just skip it and go straight into the next pack. The only thing is if your doctor is writing that, you need to tell them, so because you're going to run out faster. So tell them to write okay to skip placebo and give you 17 packs a year instead of 13 packs a year. So if you take those sugar pills, you definitely will bleed on Vienva. But if you skip those sugar pills, then you don't have to. And so the big story is that if you want to skip your bleeding week on any pill, just skip the sugar pill week. Or some packs come with 3 weeks of active, not Vienva, but different companies or other ones. And then 1 week, you're just supposed to know not to take your pill. So you could just go straight into the next pack.
Gotcha. Oh, that's so smart. And I really like that you can just ask for extra packs because I've always wondered that. And I remember previously when I didn't know about skipping my period, I was always hesitant to do so because I was thinking, oh, I'm just going to run out quicker. So I'll just take it. I'll get my period. It's fine. But no, like that's great. And then, so when say someone does choose to not skip it and they do get a period, do you happen to know if it'll be a lighter period or if it'll just be kind of normal? I know with some birth controls, you just get like a lighter period.
Yeah. So in general, any birth control pill will have a lighter period than what is, quote, natural. And the reason why is because when you're not on hormones, you're building that uterus lining. Ooh, uterus prop. You're building that uterus lining as thick as possible. Well, this one has a big eye in it, but you get the idea. You want to grow it really, really thick so it can catch the embryo and grow in there and support this living, breathing thing for 9 months. However, when you're on the birth control pill, it's just growing a little bit. So I think of like when you're on the pill, you're growing a level 3 thickness. And then when you're not on the pill, you grow to a level 10 thickness. And so that difference is how much less blood you're going to bleed. And in general, I say like if you bleed normally 5 days, you're going to bleed 3. If you usually use 3 tampons or pads a day, you may go down to 1. Because it's that dramatic drop in the thickness of the uterine lining. Without birth control, really thick, lots of blood, ready to grow an embryo. With birth control, thin, doesn't need to support an embryo, doesn't want to support an embryo. And so that's a lot less blood. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. And that's really good to know. So yeah, it's basically just a matter of being thick versus being a lot thinner when you're on the pill. So you will get a lighter period, but you might as well just skip it if that's the case. So that is something we talk about. You can check out pandiahealth.com/periods optional for a little bit more information. But essentially, women do not need to get a period every month. So you can use birth control to help you skip it, which is great. So yeah, next question, kind of on a similar note. What are some of the side effects that you'll get with Vienva? I know a big thing that people ask about is weight gain. I feel like that's like the biggest one that people are concerned about. So yeah, what are some of the side effects?
Yeah, so I don't know if they specified what birth control pill, but there have been studies where they put 100 women on birth control pills, 100 women not on birth control pills. And the women not on birth control pills on average weigh a pound more than the women on birth control pills. And the reason why is the women not on birth control pills are hormoning up, hormoning down, hormoning up, hormoning down. And as you know, as we hormoning up, bloat. And as we hormone down, lose some blood. And so this on average is up and down, average is a pound more than here on birth control pills. Just smooth. Yeah. Just smooth. But each woman is different. Each woman responds different to the 8 different progesterones differently. So for you, if when you're on levonorgestrel, you're one of the women that experiences the munchies, then you might gain weight. But if you're on levonorgestrel, you have no acne, no munchies, and you haven't checked your cholesterol, and it's not an issue, great. However, it's not my birth control progesterone of first choice because of the munchie situation. And then Vienva is not, because of the 20 microgram estrogen, not good for your bone situation. So the side effect I would be concerned about would be munchies as well as acne. And if you're checking a fasting cholesterol, then good versus bad cholesterol.
Sure. I remember watching a video, I think it was one of yours. It was either a podcast or a YouTube video for TMI Tuesday about birth control and weight gain. And I thought this was so interesting that a lot of people associate birth control with weight gain because they start taking birth control at like a pivotal life change. So like when they're going to college or just different times like that when their body's already changing and it's totally normal to gain weight in those times. But people will associate it then with the birth control, but it's not always that. So yeah, I thought that was very interesting.
That is a very good point. I remember exactly stating that, the freshman 15, right? A lot of women start birth control right before they head off to college in case, or just, I call it a life hack. Are you going to do better on finals on your period or off your period? Because my daughter is not going to be bleeding and she's going to kick your butt. So if you are bleeding, she's going to have all the blood and oxygen running to her head so she can do math like crazy fast. And she also won't be distracted by random blood 1 week out of 4 or cramps or just like the uncomfortableness of anything, about that situation. So a lot of people will start it exactly at these pivotal points in their lives. And if you take 100 women with the pill, 100 women without the pill, and then watch them for 10 years, both groups will gain weight. So that illustrates the importance of always having a control group and not just being like, well, everybody on the pill gained weight. Well, everybody not on the pill gained weight too, because women in the United States on average gain weight. Though theoretically, there comes a point where we should stop gaining weight.
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. Really good to know. And similarly, can Vienva, as well as I guess other types of birth controls that you're aware of, result in depression or other mental health disorders?
Yeah, so I was just doing a review of the literature either yesterday or today because there had been a paper that came out and it was huge and it was in the New England Journal of Medicine from a bunch, like 10,000 Danish women. And it showed that if you were on the pill, you were more likely to be diagnosed with depression and given an antidepressant. But there are so many confounders in that research study. It wasn't like they had 100 women on the pill that they put on the pill and 100 women they didn't have the pill and then go and then compare. They simply noticed out of a group of 1,000 random women they picked, that the women on the pill were more likely to be diagnosed and treated for depression. And my thing is the women on the pill are more likely to go see a doctor who, if they're a good doctor, should be doing a depression screen. We actually do that at Stanford. We screen everybody for depression at least once a year. But if you don't go see a doctor, nobody's going to catch your depression.
No one knows.
And no one's going to give you the drug. There's also, I think, stressors of being in a relationship. The joke I give is not joke, but I teach other physicians, kick out the parents, ask the young person, if you were going to hurt yourself or kill yourself, who would you talk to? And they'll say, oh, my girlfriend or boyfriend. Well, who's most likely to break up with you and make you want to kill yourself?
It's a really good point.
So I tell them, don't accept boyfriend or girlfriend as their backup because that's the one most likely to crush their heart and make them want to die. So you need a parent or a really good friend or a family member or a teacher or a coach or something, not the one who's going to crush them and make them want to die. So I think that being in a sexual relationship comes with stress, the worry of pregnancy, the worry of, am I beautiful? Am I enough? Are they going to cheat on me? Just all these things that if you're not in a relationship, you may not have the depression or anxiety. But I also think it's a diagnosis bias in that this person's going to see the doctor. This person's not going to see the doctor. Let's survey both of them every X months for depression and see, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's really interesting. And I've actually found that with birth control, my anxiety and depression that I've had previously actually has leveled out a little bit. And I'm on other medication as well. But the birth control, when I was just on that, I felt more just like from here to here.
Yes.
So I think it can have that effect as well, which is really awesome. Yeah. Another reason to take it.
I actually did a talk with Dr. Uma Lerner, and she's a psychiatrist. And we were saying that, you know, it's better to have your hormones smooth than up and down and up and down and up and down. So even if you're already on the birth control pill, you're smooth for 3 weeks, but then 1 week you drop. And it would be better just to be smooth. And I asked her, you know, it just logically made sense that for people who have mood swings up and down, would it be better just to be smooth? And she's like, oh, totally. And I was like, well, then how come I don't hear all the psychiatrists saying, just skip your periods and just go smooth, or, you know, rather than going up and down every single month without the birth control pill, patch, or ring, you know, just to go smooth. And so I think that there's that argument too. And then also just in terms of sex, like if I'm having sex and I'm on, one, I risk pregnancy, but two, you might have better mood because I don't have any risk of pregnancy because I know I got my birth control down.
Yeah, no, that's the best part. It's like you don't have to worry. Use condoms though to protect from STIs, of course, but pregnancy wise, then birth control is great. And yeah, no, and then you're more relaxed already, and that can help for better sex, which is awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the last main question about Vienva, you answered about the whether it's generic or not, which it is. So that's great. How much does it cost? Do you know off the top of your head?
Yes. So at Pandia Health, we if you have insurance under the Affordable Care Act, no copay, no deductible, aka free, unless your employer is exempt or a religious employer. And the ones that I always forget are Jesuit colleges. So like Georgetown or Santa Clara University, it wouldn't occur to me that they were religious, but they are Jesuit colleges. So they don't approve of birth control for birth control, but they should approve it for polycystic ovarian syndrome, endometriosis, heavy periods, anemia, etc. And then in terms of if you don't have insurance, it's $20 if you only get one pack at a time. And that's because we have to mail it to you, we have to call you, we have to contact you, we have to cover our overhead. However, if you get 3 packs at a time, it's $45 and you're saving 25% off the $20 pack because it's $15 a pack. And if you get more than 3 packs, then, you know, you keep that savings and it keeps going. And I always think you should have 1 pack in case of emergency or 1 pack in, hopefully we'll start traveling again in May.
Yeah, actually, speaking of which, that's a really great question. I think I read an article about this the other day. We have one on our blog about travel and birth control. This is like completely unrelated, but while we're here, do you have any tips for that? Just remembering to take your birth control, having an extra pack, just like any tips you have when we, fingers crossed, hopefully start traveling again within the next couple months. I really hope so.
Yes. I think as soon as everybody gets their 2 shots, we can go, you know, traveling, and certainly we can maybe drive and visit people, be very, very safe. But I wouldn't recommend it until you get your 2 shots. Once you got your 2 shots, get happy. In terms of tips for traveling, I absolutely think that you should have an extra spare pack at all times in your travel pack. Because every time I travel, I look in the toiletry bag and I'm like, oh no. Man. I'm in Hawaii, I'm in Las Vegas, I'm in LA, I'm in New York, and I'm like, And luckily I'm a doctor, so I can just call down the pharmacy, walk down and pick up a pack. So know that if you run out of your birth control pill and you're in one of these situations, you can call Pandia Health if you're our patient, or you can quickly sign up to be our patient if you're in one of the 5 states that we currently serve. Arizona, California, Texas, Florida, and Wyoming. And we're soon to open more. So get excited. Woo. Georgia and Colorado. And then we will be happy to call it in. But know that our physicians only check in every 24 hours, but sometimes they can get to it faster if it's an emergency. And so you can, you know, miss 1 pill. And what you do is you take it as soon as you remember. And then if you miss 2 pills, you can take the 2 together. If you're like, oh, it is Tuesday night and I didn't take Monday. So then just take the 2 together. And then if you miss 3 pills, then you might need some emergency contraception if you had sex in the past 5 days, because the egg might pop out and the sperm might hook up with it. Or if you're going to have sex in the next 5 days, then you should use a backup until your body's back on its system. So that's how you would handle a missed pill if you can get to it. And so we should be able to definitely call one in to a pharmacy and you can get it. And if hopefully your insurance isn't evil. And I usually argue with insurance and I go, you should cover an emergency pack, because for them, it's like $7 to $10. And it's like, this is far cheaper than a pregnancy, which is $10,000 for vaginal and $40,000 for a C-section. So pay for the pack of pills, you know.
Yes.
And
No,
it's
100%.
just, I mean, if they don't cover pregnancy, then it's a different thing. But most insurances should cover pregnancy. And so, as I like to say, it's fiscally smart and morally right to cover birth control.
Yes, that is very true. Yeah, that is so good to know. I didn't know you could just call in and get that emergency pack. I mean, I'm usually one to plan ahead and have 2 packs because I don't know, one could end up just like, I don't know. But yeah, I actually saw something the other day on TikTok about someone who had dropped her birth control on the floor and her dog like licked it and she was like, oh no, I still have to take it. But no, just get that extra pack.
Just take the next pill in your pack. You'll be fine. The other thing is exactly as you said, I'm paranoid. So if I don't take the pill, then I risk getting a bleed. And I haven't bled for 10 years as long as I take my pill. And so I will put a pack on me in case my luggage gets lost. And then I will put another one in the luggage. So there's always one in my backpack purse and then the other one in the toiletry bag. But if the odds of me forgetting both would be very, very low. And then in general, if you use our service, every time you're about 1 week before you're about to run out, we send you another pack. So after some time, you do end up with an extra pack in there. So
I have that right now. Actually, it's the best. And you get candy in this recent package. I actually got soap, which was so fun.
Isn't it the nicest soap? I love Soap for Sinners. A plug. Please patronize them. They, you know, COVID, every retailer's suffering. And it's, what smell did you get? It's the nicest soap.
It's like, it's a blue something. I don't even remember. It's like a vanilla. I don't know. It smells really good and it feels really nice on your hands. And now we're washing our hands 500 times a day. So it's really nice. Yeah, no, that's so awesome. So yes, sign up for PandiaHealth.com. Pretty much in every one of our social media posts, at least once a day, there's a link to the website. So check it out. And obviously, if you have any questions, you can reach out. I think there's even a little chat box sometimes when you go to the website, which is really cool. There's also an info email to contact. So yeah, definitely check it out if you have any questions. Do you have any, Dr. Yen, any key takeaways from anything we spoke about tonight about Vienva, about just birth control delivery, about Pandia Health, really anything before we go?
I think it's, you know, I just want to put it out there that unfortunately we aren't done with COVID and we're about to go into big, scary COVID, given the holidays, given the impact of Thanksgiving. So please wear a mask. Please skip the trip to the pharmacy and let you get Pandia peace of mind. Set it and forget it. Let us worry so you don't have to. And in the holiday, you know, spirit, patronize a female-founded, female-led company, given all things, you know, equal, and then share us with all of your friends. In terms of the learnings today, I would say don't go with a 20 microgram estrogen pill. If your doctor put you on that, tell them Dr. Yen of Stanford, invoke my Stanford credentials, who specializes in adolescent and young adults and is board certified, is on national committees, does not recommend less than 30 micrograms of estrogen for anybody under the age of 30, unless there's some other, you know, blood clot or barfing reason not to. But for their bone density should be at least 30 micrograms. And know that we provide expert care by expert physicians. I go to other websites and I'm like, how come you don't list your physicians? We are so proud of the people that we've gathered. We list their first name, their last name, all their education, and all of them are so passionate to make women's lives better by, you know, making sure you get good birth control by good people. And so you have fewer side effects. And our whole team is just, you know, I love our social media team. I love our marketing team. I love my chief operating officer, Susanna Craig, and our PCAs. I see Alec Allegre and last name LaPera, as well as some of our pharmacy supporters out there today. So I think it's a time to be thankful, wear a mask, be a hero. Don't be a hero by not wearing a mask. That's not being a hero. That's suicidal and it's killing other people. So be a hero, wear a mask, and stay at home for the holidays.
Yes, agreed. It's just 1 year. It's okay. You can FaceTime. I know it's not the same, but it's at least we have that. It's really
Yeah.
good. Yeah. All right. Thank you all so much for watching, whether you're watching now or at a later date. Promote Pandia Health. You can follow us on all of our socials and look out for more lives because we'll have some coming up real soon. Yeah. Have a good night, everyone.